Adobe has just announced the beta testing mode for Adobe Podcast Studio. I got the email this morning and I decided to give it a whirl and give you my honest feedback on where it's currently sitting. Full disclaimer, of course, this is in beta mode. You understand this is not the full version of whatever it is they have planned, but certainly I wanted to give you a little bit of a sneak peek into that back end, and I hope that Adobe watches this as well and they can get the insights that they are going to need from someone who has worked in the podcasting space and continues to work in the podcasting space as a producer for the last 10 years. Okay, so let's get straight into it. When you first get the email from them, you're going to need to sign in. Once you've signed in, then you can see you can actually go to Studio here. Within the Studio space, you can just go New Project, and then it will open up a brand new project. It is a very simple platform to use. Too simple in my opinion, but it is in beta mode. It is still testing. So the first thing you can do straight up is just actually start recording. I want to check first what my actual audio is coming in at. And at the moment, it's just the internal microphone, which is just trash. So we're going to go over here and select the proper microphone. See how it doesn't give me any metering though? It doesn't give me any indication as to how it sounds, how loud it is, nothing. So that's not great right off the bat. Now hit record. Welcome to my voice. This is Brianna and I am the head of Bamby Media, a podcast and video production company based in Australia. This is my little snippet that is going to be the intro for this random episode. Now it's going to upload that and it's also going to transcribe that, and that will come up very quickly because it's only a 15-second grab. Now what's also going to happen, you can see that this waveform is here, but it's not the true indication of the actual waveform, and you can't edit at that point either. It's just telling you, hey, there's audio here, and it's going to transcribe it and be available for you very quickly. So we've got that in now. Now, if that's your intro and then maybe you want to put some music in, you can go over here to the right and you can just choose something. So I'm going to go lo-fi because I like that. I'm not going to listen to it. I'm just going to drag it straight in and just make sure my cursor is here and then drag it in. And it's going to pop it in there as a WAV file, all good to go. And then obviously it's not going to transcribe that because it's just music. Now, what if after you've done your intro, you want someone else to join you? So at this point, if you want to have a guest on, you can invite guests over here on the right. I'm going to invite one of our employees, Alex, so that he can join me and give you a little bit of a test. Now we've had Alex join us.
Hello.
Hello, Alex. You can see here, here's the little pencil man up on the right. So Alex has joined, which is cool. He's muted his mic there. See how he's muting and unmuting? So we can just start recording with him once he has set up his session ready to go. Are you ready to go, Alex?
Yep, just configuring my headphones.
From Alex's side as well, again, yes, you can select the microphone, but you can't see any metering as to how loud it is either. It's just like me on this end. So it's kind of frustrating from that regard. Now we're going to hit record. And you can see that there's a waveform there for each of us. So hello, this is my side.
And this is my side, though I can't see that waveform.
Oh, so you can't see a waveform at all. Okay, so
No.
Alex can see almost nothing. And Alex did have to have a Adobe account in order to get into this session.
Yes, that's correct.
So now we're going to stop the recording. And it's going to upload that recording. We can still hear Alex.
I'm still here.
Yep. And it's processing the audio and it's loading it. It will then transcribe it and it will come up there for us to play with. Alex can now leave the session.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Alex. Okay, and you can see up there he has now left, so it's just me again, all by myself. And we have this intro, we have the music, now we have what is essentially the interview. Let's pretend it was the interview. And then we can also put some music in there if we want. If we wanted to go along with that, we can put in some whatever here. But again, you have to make sure that you have your cursor at the end, because I did find the first time I did it is that it would just drop it wherever the cursor was, and that wasn't always a great idea. Okay, so then I've clicked that and it's uploading that as well. The other thing you could do is you could move this music up here, or let's say I didn't like that music because it in fact was an outro, not an intro. I can delete it and then I can go back to here and I can put the music in again. We're going to go with lo-fi, and this time we're going to do the intro. So low energy short intros, put it in the front. And then when you want to transition to the actual interview itself, you could put here, music, lo-fi, transitions, low energy, and it will put it there. So you've got intro to the podcast, my voiceover, then you've got the actual interview, and then you've got an outro. From a formatting perspective, it's very simple to follow what all of this is, isn't it? We now have some music and we now have our actual episode itself. If we listen back, welcome to my voice. This is Brianna and I am the head. I can actually hear that the audio has been tampered with, as in it sounds a little bit digitized. So it is not a true representation of what my voice actually sounds like from this recording. If we go over to here to filters, it can enhance speech, but it's not actually on. So enhanced speech is when you've got issues with background noise, or you feel like the recording doesn't have the best audio. Maybe they're not using a professional microphone, your guest, and you want to make it sound more like they are, then you can hit that enhanced speech button. Sometimes it makes it sound really good and amazing, but sometimes it fails a little bit. It doesn't sound that great. You can tell that it's definitely got some AI robots in there trying to help it out. Then you can also see here, you can add a placeholder. So let's say you're working on a project and you don't know what music you want to go with yet, but you know you want some, then you can put placeholder info in here, go, okay, I want some here, and this is what I'm going to put here. So I would say intro needs to go here, so that when I get back to it, I understand what it is that I'm wanting to put there, and then I'll go find some music. You can also upload your own stuff, which is cool. So if you've got some music that you'd like to use of your own, some branding, or you've got some mid-roll ads or something, you can add them in there, which is really cool. The issue I have is that the actual selecting editing from within here is really clunky, and I'm sure it's going to get better, but they also don't give you any indication as to filler words. So when I say or Alex says or anything like that, that doesn't show up. There's no indication. So you have to just listen along. Australia, this is my little snippet that is going to be the intro for this random. Yeah. And you can see that there's a waveform there for each of us. So hello, this is my side.
And this is my side, though I can't see that waveform.
Oh, so you can't see a waveform at all. Okay, so no. Alex can see almost nothing. So see as well, the transcript isn't that great. It's definitely missing bits and pieces. It's saying the wrong words. It's not completely accurate. It's not as accurate as other software that I've found. Certainly, this is in beta mode, okay? I'm going to say it again, but from an editing perspective, if you're going to edit, this isn't great. I would not use this at this point in beta mode. I like how it's feeling at this stage, but it's just too hard to edit properly, too hard to get a good edit. If you're not going to edit and you already have an Adobe subscription and you've been invited to the beta program and you have an Adobe subscription, maybe this is all you need. But let's go up here. You can also change the title. So we're going to go testing the studio today, yay, as the actual title of this podcast episode. And you can see that it's created a format that's very easy for people who aren't used to podcast DAWs or audio recordings like Pro Tools or Descript or Premiere, all of them, Adobe Audition. If that feels like a massive hurdle for you and it's like, oh my God, I'm working with a waveform, how do I cut all the things? This negates all of that, which is kind of cool for someone that's really fresh. Now, if we then go to download, you can download the actual session, and that will be in a WAV file as well as a text file. So I have one here already that I did earlier. I'll open it up and you can hear. Of Bamby Media, a podcast and video. And you can see that there's a waveform there for his session. So
yes, that's correct.
Yeah, so it's there, and then the text file is just like this. So it is not an SRT file, a caption file. It's not a docx file. It is a text file, which is less useful than other formats there. So that is, as it stands right now, what Adobe Studio Podcast Beta looks like. It's quite easy to look at. It's easy to see where everything is. And there really is very limited options for you, which can be a very good thing. But let me just give you my roundup of what I think of this new beta Adobe Podcast Studio. What do I like about Adobe Podcast Studio? I like that it's really simple for podcasters that only want audio only. And I'm assuming if you have Creative Cloud, Adobe Podcasts may hopefully be included in that. So it might not even cost you anything extra to get this really simple recording option. Though I do wonder, if you have an Adobe Creative Cloud subscription anyway, wouldn't you also know or potentially know how to use Adobe Audition or Premiere Pro or something like that? Maybe if you're a graphic designer and you only use Illustrator and Photoshop and InDesign and those sorts of things, then this is a whole new world for you and that could be good. But I just don't know what the use case is for people who already have Adobe Creative Cloud. That would be something that I would love your feedback on, Adobe. If you want to reach out, then please let me know who this is for, really. Who is this for? When we look at this, there is no video capabilities at this stage, which is fine. Again, it's beta testing. Video requires a lot more complexity. There's a lot more involved to get video working. And so I'm not surprised that they're launching with something that is quite simple. It is on browser. It isn't a download. It isn't an app at this stage. It is just browser, which means that you're, I guess, throttled by what the browser can handle and how your computer is operating, how much space you have. And I would probably recommend clearing your cache and doing all that so that if you're operating on the browser, it's doing the best possible thing that it can for the browser. I like that you can select music from within this software as well. You can easily go there and there's like stock stuff there that you don't have to spend a bunch of time or have a different subscription for Artlist or something like that to obtain that music. In saying that, you then have that, okay, well, it's not your brand, like it's just standard music that anyone can use, and there's going to be a lot less there than there are on the music licensing platforms. So that's kind of a good thing. If you're a complete novice, complete newbie, and you really just want to see if podcasting is something you want to do, this does make it very simple to do. And if it's you only, it's audio only, then it can be a pretty quick turnaround from you getting a microphone, plugging it in, recording, and then putting some music up and then exporting it. So I can see the value for people that are really just wanting to get going and don't want all the bells and whistles. I don't like that there's no SRT or caption files that are useful. I don't like that it doesn't have the filler words in there. You can't delete things easily. And I don't like that you have no metering on the level of the audio that's coming in. Alex could have been way louder than me. I couldn't tell that. I had no controls. Alex had no controls on his end. So it is something that from a production point of view, for me personally and for others in my field at this level, this is not something that we would use. And it also at this stage is not something that I would recommend, but it is still in beta mode. I will continue to give feedback to Adobe on this particular product, and I'll be really interested to see what they end up coming out with for the future. I want to know, is this something that you as a consumer, someone watching this YouTube video, would use for yourself? Is it easy enough and simple enough that you're like, this just gets rid of all the barriers and all the things that I had in my way from creating a podcast. Now I can just do this really simply. Is that something that you would actually do? Or would you find yourself going elsewhere from that point of view as well? Always love the feedback. Would love to see the comments from you. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe. I love doing these kind of reviews and software that's new to come out. I want to help the podcast industry get better, especially the production side of the podcast industry. Better recordings, better software, better audio, better video. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later.